Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Hi, happy day after Thanksgiving, people. I'm going to do a little scrapbooking today because I think that this is kind of like a family weekend. Day after Thanksgiving, everyone's kind of hanging out at home, and it's nice to just settle down and do something fun, like some scrapbooking. And these photos were from a Red Sox game this spring, the first time I've been to a Red Sox game, the first time we've taken all three kids. So I thought it'd be fun to do these pictures. I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm just going to use knife and a straight edge, and these papers that I'm using, I got these from some pads at ACmoore. They were $5 pads. The Heidi Swapp pad here and the CratePaper pad here. It seems like something all the stores had, so if you do have a local ACmoore, you might want to check it out. These three came from the Heidi Swapp pad, so I'm going to use these for embellishing. And then these two patterns came from the CratePaper pad, and I'm going to use these for more of, you know, the background paper. But I didn't want it to be too busy, so I also have some craft paper, and I'm not sure if I want to make it a one-page layout or two-page layout. And I've also got a couple of the baseball tickets that we got when we went to the game. So now what I'm going to do is, this is how I print my photos. I've mentioned it before, but it's a real time saver. I print it off like a collage, and there's software you can do this with, like Shape Collage or Picture Collage Maker Pro, or the free one that I really like nowadays called iPicky, and it's online. You don't have to download anything. You just upload the photos you want to use, then you lay it out in your however you want to use them, and then you can just save it and then print it, but you always have that collage saved on your computer, so you can do whatever you want with it. But I know a lot of people don't want to risk downloading software and having it muck up their computer, so it's a nice way to do that. And I haven't noticed any, I mean, the photos don't show up anywhere, you know, they shouldn't or anything. So I mean, I know if you're concerned about privacy, I want to just take a little hair off the edge there. I'm just afraid it might slip. You know, you might be concerned with that. I haven't had any issues with that. I mean, when I do, you don't have to, I don't even think you have to log in or register or anything, but when I do go back to the site, I do notice it has my old pictures there. So, you know, I guess you always want to be concerned about, you know, internet privacy and stuff, but I haven't had any trouble with it. But that's IPICCY or I. I'll look it up and I'll put a link in the video description for you. And I'm just going to go and trim out the rest of these, but you can see how easy it makes it. In fact, I think I'll keep some of these together, so I'll just kind of keep them in their little keep them on their paper here. So I hope you guys all had a really nice holiday, those American viewers that that celebrate Thanksgiving. We had a nice time. We drove down to my parents, and I was really glad that the roads cleared up. We got about 14 inches of snow the night before Thanksgiving, so I was worried because we always go to my parents for Thanksgiving. The kids love it. My sister's son loves to see my kids, and add to that, I hadn't cooked anything other than my rolls to bring down, so it would have been a pretty bleak Thanksgiving dinner here if we didn't go down. So that was fun. It was funny, I realized that I'm still 38 years old and sitting at the kids' table. It didn't occur to me until like all the food's all set up, and my mother, my dad, and Uncle Gene were all sitting in the kitchen at the counter, and all of us were at the table in the living room, and it definitely was the kids' table. It was me and my sister, her husband, my husband, and all of our kids. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to get, there we go, just trim off the edge there. And so this is another little tip. I actually printed my photos out for this one on Paint Shop Pro, because these were all photos taken from our cell phone, and it's not like a really great cell phone camera. It's just a, you know, a cheapy track phone camera. So I needed to do a little correcting, and I needed to kind of spruce them up a bit, so I did do these in Paint Shop Pro. But the good thing about that is, since I had a little bit of extra area, I could type just some little things I could use as embellishments, because I'm not super fancy when it comes to scrapbooking. Sometimes I will, and I'll spend hours on a page, but for the most part, I just kind of embellish with paper and, you know, ephemera and stuff like that. So now, since I did that this way, it's almost like I just have two photos to deal with instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 photos. So that's also another little tip there to save you a little time in your scrapbooking. And I just want to trim that a little bit more. I hope this isn't too dull. I'm just having a very relaxed day, and I hope you're doing that too. I did a little Black Friday shopping online. I've never gone out on Black Friday, and I'm telling you, I went to JCPenney online, and I went to Old Navy online, and they had the same deals plus an extra 15% off. So I was pretty happy with what I did find online. All right, so now I need to figure out whether this is going to be too crowded on one page or if I need to spread it out into 2 pages. So I'm going to do that by just grabbing a sheet of kraft cardstock. I really like kraft nowadays. I know it's, you know, it's not for everybody, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm gonna have to cut that. I'll just do that later. So I'm just gonna see whether that's too crowded or if I want to spread it out onto a 2-page layout and do something like that. I kind of like that actually, and I'm wondering maybe I should cut that picture off, or maybe I'll just leave it kind of like that. Let me think on this for a second, and we'll be back in just a moment. Okay, I think I decided I do want to make this a 2-page spread because it'll give me just a little more room to use those pretty papers and do some journaling. Plus, my daughter kind of guilt-tripped me the other day and said that, Mom, I've noticed since 2012 our family scrapbooks have had fewer pages. They're getting kind of thin, Mom. So the guilt, of course, you know, wins the day. So I think what I'm going to do is actually cut some strips out of this paper, and I'm just going to again use my blade here, and I think I'm just going to do a couple. I don't even care about them being straight. I want to cut a couple even askew strips of each of these patterns. See how I'm just kind of not super duper, you know, crazy triangles or anything, but I'm just kind of getting a couple strips of, maybe I'll do 3 of each, that way I can alternate them, and if I don't end up using it, I'll use it for something else. And then here's another tip that I'll share with you. So when I'm all done, I'm going to have lots of leftovers because a couple of those pages are really like embellishment papers. I'll put them all together and almost make like a little kit that I can use some other time on another layout. I'll just put it right in one page protector in my scrapbook because I organize all my photos in my scrapbook, in my 12x12 album. And then, so when I go to a crop, I have my album with all my photos in it already organized, and then I can throw all these in one page protector. And then if I have another layout to do, like maybe their softball or baseball layouts, I can go right ahead and use that. So it's another little time-saving tip, because when I'm at a crop, I'm more likely to be gabbing, big surprise, and, you know, hanging out with my girlfriends than I am to be really pondering scrapbook layouts. So pretty much like what we're doing here, honestly. All right, so, and then I think I'll maybe figure out what I want to use out of these embellishment papers. And I call them embellishment papers because they have so many things you can cut out and use for embellishments. So they're really, you know, they're really handy to have, and they really make a lot of good use for your supplies. So I think I like this one right here, this Having a Great Time, Crazy Good One. So I'm going to cut that out again with my knife. And, you know, use scissors or paper cutter or whatever you want, but I want to keep, I think, this page intact as much as I can. There we go. We didn't lose power, though, during that storm. That was lucky. Some of our neighbors did. Not too close of neighbors, but there were some people in town that were without power for a couple hours, but luckily I think everyone was back on yesterday morning. All right, I like that. And I'm not even worried about everything super matching because I've got different shades of blue in the photo because my daughter had like a teal Red Sox cap on and the other one had like a navy sequin Red Sox cap on. So, I mean, I don't even fuss about that. I actually like this octagon one here, and I like because I don't have any other octagons, so it's the colors are similar but the shape is different, so it's going to add a little interest. I have the repetition of the colors but the introduction of a new shape. So the having those little surprises there is nice. There we go. And one more. I have a fairly quiet house today because my girls were invited to go bowling. And my son is just chilling out. I might go back and get some more from those pages, but for right now, I'm going to leave them. And because of repetition, I like this star, these orange stars, and that I think would kind of be cool with the stars from that pattern paper. Blue and orange are opposites and complementary, so they will make each other pop color-wise, so I'm going to trim off that piece as well and use that in my layout. All right, my goodness, it's 9 minutes in. I might not get stuff glued down, but I will get the layout put together for you at least. I do hate to go too long. My scrapbooking videos are not my most popular ones. I don't do them too often, but I think it's an important hobby, and I think it's I think a lot of people really got into it and enjoyed it, but for whatever reason, kinda got away from it. I think I'll do this tag as well. Oh, I like that too. I might do both of those. Let me pause it while I cut those two out. Alright, everything is cut out. So what I'm going to begin doing is I've got my layout. This is the left-hand side. And I am just going to ink the edges. I want this to have kind of like a very vintage kind of New England look. I'm going to start just by doing that. And I'm going to grab some paper strips. I'm going to keep it pretty bold. I did decide to keep that little stripe there that was left over from that piece that I cut. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it right here or not, but I wanted to have that option. Let me turn that one around like that. And throw that on. Okay, I kind of like that, so I'm going to go ahead and ink my edges, and this is going to be ink on everything before I'm done because I like layered things on top of the ink pad. I think I'm just going to use my adhesive gun to stick everything down. I think my husband's home. I just heard the dog scramble up the stairs. He only had to work a short day on Black Friday. It's probably a little gratuitous. Probably didn't need that much adhesive, but I am. I think maybe if I use the adhesive gun a little bit, I don't know. If I use it a little more often, maybe it won't get so murky. Oh, I'm back, and look at that. The furnace is on. My bowler has returned. One of them, anyway. So I'm just inking and adhering, and my furnace is on, which is odd because my wood stove is on. So it must just be kicking on for a few minutes to heat up the water. Isn't that just fascinating? Oh, I'm sure it is. Alright, I'll just do a couple little bits of this on here. And the cool thing about printing your photos at home, I don't know why I say and, I wasn't even talking about that before, gosh, I need grammar lessons. The cool thing about printing photos at home is that your photo paper that you use, this is a Canon Pixma, and it was actually pretty inexpensive on Amazon. I used to get the HP all the time, but it was just getting so crazy expensive that I tried the Pixma, and I really liked it. It's a little thin, or this one I bought was a little thin, but I'm really happy with the way it printed. And I'm using the cheap off-brand ink that I get like 6 cartridges for $5 on Amazon for my HP printer. So I think I'm gonna put that there. I'm not gonna stick it down yet because I'm not 100% sure. I want to have this somewhere. I know I'm gonna have a lot more room for embellishing over here, so I want to make sure that I lay things out and make sure I like them. I'm gonna want to punch that hole out and add some twine or something too. And I think I might put that there. Again, I'm gonna for repetition and to make everything harmonize, I am inking all the edges. So I know you think that everyone inks edges and it's very random, but actually it does have a purpose. And I might even bring that up a little higher. I'm not sure, but I do want to ink those edges. This paper has a varnish on it, so I might want to rub that with a tissue just to make sure that any of the varnished areas don't have wet ink on them. Oh, the thing I was talking about the photo paper before I distracted myself was that paper that's designed for printing at home has like a coating on it that makes ink dry really fast, so the inked edges are going to dry really fast on that. So that is really, really nice. And maybe I'll tuck these Fenway tickets back there. I really like this. I'm glad I decided to do a 2-page layout. Now I'm going to start gluing down my photos. And I'm actually off camera. I'm actually a little bit ahead. I just don't want to get ink on the photo surface. And I have to say hi to my friend Val. She gave me that adhesive gun, and I do appreciate it. And it was giving me trouble the other day, and she sent me a message, and it ended up in spam for some reason. But anyway, she was like, "I'm sorry, I gave you a thing that doesn't know it's giving you trouble." And I'm like, "No, Val. Oh my gosh, I didn't want you to think that." I am very thankful for your gift. It's actually really great. It's not the gun. It's a couple rolls of adhesive that I don't know if they were shipped in a hot car or what, but and I noticed they're kind of like were wonky, like they weren't like nice and flat in the package. So I think they just got overheated before they made it to the store, and that's the problem. I don't think it's anything to do with the gun. I think it's the rolls of adhesive that I got. So I've got to find gotta get me some more adhesive. I'm sure that's what the trouble was. There we go. And I wanted to glue these down, the tickets down, so I could still see like the date and everything, because those details that you just don't remember. At least I don't. I have, you know, you remember these moments, but you don't necessarily remember exactly the date, or you might not even remember the year if you don't scrapbook it. So that's why scrapbooking is important. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to punch that hole out and put some twine in there, and then we're going to go onto the other page. I'm sorry, I'm talking so fast. I apologize to you all. Hang on a sec. Okay, now I know we collect so many different like threads and twines and stuff as scrapbookers, and then they kind of go out of season because we find something better. So, you know, grab that old waxed floss, or, you know, scrappy twine, or whatever it is you have in your drawer that you bought like 5 years ago and you feel completely guilty that you bought it and never used it. Use it now. There's no reason not to, and there's no reason, you know, to hoard our supplies. You know, get joy from not only buying it but for using it too. Hoarding it does not bring you joy. So I tell you something that's it was so sweet. So my daughter Lila, I have twin daughters, as I know most of you know, and they have different friends, and as they get older they start to get invited separately to different things. So my daughter Lila had been invited over at a sleepover and to go bowling with one of her friends, and her friend's grandmother came to pick her up and saw Maisie there and invited Maisie along too, which of course, you know, Lila was so thrilled about. And the grandmother said, "You're welcome to spend the night too." And Maisie goes, "You know, Mom, Lila doesn't get to go many places without me, so I don't want to ruin her special time with her friends." And I thought that was so sweet. But they did go bowling together at least, and I just thought that was so cute. My heart is breaking. What a good kid. I was like, I don't want to ruin her special day. I'm like, "Aw, that is so cute. Now I want to go buy you something." I got good kids. All right. So now I'm using some foam adhesive. I have a love-hate relationship with the foam adhesive. I love the way it looks, but this foam squares sometimes tend to dry out and then your stuff falls off your page. So sometimes if my glue gun is on, which it isn't right now, I'll give it a little dash of hot glue just to kind of make it a little bit stronger. But there's that layout, and I'll journal it later. I can't write. It's too well, the camera's going, it's too much pressure. But there's our first page, so you can be more decorative on the page with fewer photos. So now we'll go over here, and I did trim out that little bit there that was bugging me. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to ink my edges and ink those paper strips. And in fact, why don't I ink the edges and paper strips off camera, and then we'll just get together when we're putting it all together, because it's the same process as the last time. We're just going to artfully arrange it differently this time. Alright, so I've got everything inked, and I'm just going to get an idea of how I want to place my photos. And I think maybe I'll have my strips kind of going across this way, because why not? I'll go this way. Actually, I just kind of like this crisscross applesauce here. I like this. Alright, so I'm just going to adhere that down. Have I honestly lost my adhesive gun? No, it's right here. Oh, really? 2 pages in 20 minutes. That, for me, is really good. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling awfully proud of myself. So I'm just going to glue these down. Well, of course, you know, I did pause it a couple times. So, you know, 30 minutes. Can't sneeze at that, can ya? Oh, speaking of sneezing, I have a cat who sneezes. One of those new Humane Society cats I got sneezes. It's the weirdest thing. I think it's got a little cat cold. I don't know. I don't know if they get cat cough like dogs can get kennel cough. I'm not sure. Alright, so this is kind of fun. I feel like I'm like chaos scrapping, like, you know, down under the wire here, trying to get it done. Okay, you know what? Let me turn this page around. I'm not sure if I'm loving it. You know what? I like that better. Let's do that. So you gotta be ready to go with the flow. Yeah, my gun is not my friend right now. I'm not exactly sure why. Just try one more time. Try it like that. Oh, I like it like that better. Let's do that. Okay, I'm going to put that in there somewhere. Oh, I think I like it kitty corner just like that. My extreme desire not to have to edit this, I am just like flying here. And I'm going to put those there. I always feel like if I spend some good time on the first one, a good time apparently is, you know, 15 minutes. The second one I can just slap together, and as long as I've got one page that looks good, I'm alright. It's usually the one with the fewer photos, but I love to cram a lot of photos in here. So, just to finish this off, what I'm going to do, let's just look at these 2 pages together. I really think it's done. I might add a little more decoration, but that's the layout as I have it. It's got all the information I need, really, other than the journaling I'm going to do. Maybe I will mount it, pause it, see if there's anything else I want to add, and then we'll wrap things up here. Alright, I did find a couple other little cutouts from that embellishment paper that I had seen. I cut that out, and this little adventure tag, and also there's this little scrap of that star that's like this bigger star over here, and I really like the way that orange made all the other colors pop. So this is my 2-page layout. I hope you you like that. I really like the way the first page came out. I love how it has my 3 kids there together. And the second page with more supporting photos. We had this, this is our view from our seats at Fenway, and you know, them having cotton candy in the stands, and you know, the fun little things that go along with going to a professional baseball game. So there you have it. I want to thank you so much for watching. Zoom out a bit. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, happy crafting.